Graduation season is here and is a very exciting time. I know for the graduates especially, but also for the parents and grandparents. And this is a great time to maybe provide them with some foundational elements for finance and how to be better prepared to reach that financial independence we all seek to have later in life. So we're going to talk about ways you can do that, some tips that you can provide those recent graduates coming up next. Welcome into Dollars with Dennis. Glad to have you on the show once more. I'm Ben George with Dennis Hort, Faith 401k and Money Management. Dennis, great time of the year. I'm sure you probably have a few clients or some friends or family that are graduating right now, right?
Hey, Ben, I'm trying to schedule appointments. We got this graduation, we got that, this going on. May, spring is a busy time for a lot of people, especially parents and grandparents.
It's an awesome time too. I know it's you've been supporting them the whole way. It's just definitely a time to have pride and be proud of what they've accomplished. But again, it's also an opportunity really to do some things and share some actions that can really have a lasting impact on their future, which is what we're going to talk about today. And if you have any questions for Dennis, maybe anything that you want to work with, or maybe you have some family planning that you want to do, 401k.faith is the website. You can learn more there. Also schedule a time to talk with Dennis right there on the website. But as I mentioned, we want to share some things you can be discussing, right? Some actions and some tips you can provide that graduate. We'll also share some gift ideas as well before we close it out, so stay tuned for that. But I think the first thing, Dennis, is saving and investing. It's very simple principles, but I know when you first start getting that paycheck, that money on your own, and you get that, it's very tempting to spend that money rather than save it. But what are some of the lessons there that you would teach a young person in terms of saving and investing?
Yeah, so great questions. And I would say graduation is a little bit too late to start putting those factors in. So our clients now will know me well enough that I've invited young kids in. We spend time with them. We have booklets for kids and money and that kind of stuff. But the power of compound interest is, I think Albert Einstein said, was the most influential thing he learned in his lifetime. We think of him as being a pretty smart guy. So compound interest, and one way that you can show that is most people will have a mortgage and they got this mortgage payment on a 30-year amortization schedule. And if you do the math on that mortgage and do it backwards, you spent $200,000 over 30 years, but you paid $500,000 back to do that. And you do that same math with compound interest. When people are saving, it's amazing how fast money grows when it starts to get doubles in there. And you probably, I don't know if you remember this one, Ben, but when I was young, people talk about if you double a penny every day for 31 days, how much money do you have? So a penny goes to 2, goes to 4, goes to 8, goes to 16, 30, 32, 64. And on the 30th day, if I have these numbers right, you're at $544,000.
Wow.
And so that next double puts you over $1 million. So getting a double is pretty important. And that's where the rule of 72 comes in. So if you're earning 10%, your money should double every 7 years. So getting another double is a matter of planning and preparing properly and showing that compound interest. Very, very powerful. And if you're a bank, you really like it because you're getting that compound interest.
Yeah. And even just saving a little bit, right? I mean, I know, it feels like, I think a lot of people when you're younger, and I think I had this experience too, is, well, what is $50 going to make a difference, right? What is $75 going to mean if I don't put that away this month? But even those little amounts add up so much, as you point out.
It did for sure. I have a story about it was actually in the newspaper many years ago in Cincinnati Enquirer. I think we still have it. where two twins, graduated 22, and one's they both started putting into an IRA $2,000 a year. After 6 years, I embellished the story. The one brother got married, couldn't afford to do it anymore, and the other brother continued to contribute, or didn't start till then. So he started late. He waited 6 years to start. So the first brother put in for 6 years, put $12,000 in, and compound interest at age 65. The brother who waited 6 years never caught up to the brother who started earlier. So small amounts over a long time. The earlier you start, the better. So I like having kids that have part-time jobs that can come in and start, as long as they have an income and they can open accounts and start seeing that compound interest go to work for them.
Yeah, I love that. So saving and investing, first thing to work with your graduates on. Next thing, teach the importance of the emergency fund. I think is where, these recent graduates, the emergency fund's always been your parents, right? It's the fallback for sure. So what would you tell these graduates about setting money and making sure you have something on the sideline for emergencies?
I won't get this right either yet, but Kevin O'Leary had a little blurb on Mother's Day about the dead bird under the nest or something. Basically, mom was telling him, you got to go. You're not getting any more money from me. So build that emergency fund up, because you will have emergencies in life. And so many people will think that they were going to hit their goal, and they'll say they didn't hit that because this came up or that came up. So we try to teach people in their plan to save for emergencies, because everybody has them. Save for new cars, save for a new roof, save for the next breakdown on your flat tire or whatever. So you can save for emergencies, plan on emergencies, so that doesn't disrupt your long-term planning and savings.
Debt. That's a big one, Dennis, right? I think this might be the one that gets you in the most trouble as a young kid. Spending those credit cards, again, maybe thinking, I got the paycheck coming in next month, I'll pay it off next month, and things just keep adding up and adding up. But debt is such an important lesson to learn early.
Debt is a problem, yeah. So we strive to get people at an early age to 10-10-80 theory. Give away 10% of your paycheck, save 10% of your paycheck, and live on the other 80%. And if you can do that consistently and debt doesn't impede for that, then you'll be well ahead. And the credit cards are the kiss of death, if you will, because you spend the money today, you don't see the bill for 30, 40 days down the road, and then you forgot you spent the money, and then you don't have the money to pay it. That creates a vicious cycle for people. So really is important. While debit cards are a little bit challenging, I like that version for younger people to it hits their bank account immediately, so they know that they've spent that money and stay there. So it introduces some budgeting principles to people at that point as well.
That's a good one, right? I mean, I think that's the next thing is budgeting and really understanding, really tracking your spending a lot closer. And then also, paying yourself first is a lesson to learn.
If you don't put that money in your account first, it's going to go somewhere. So pay yourself first. Always help out somebody, give to whatever you want to give to, but save, give, live on the rest. It's a balance. If you learn that early on, it will never leave you, and it'll always help you.
And that's the whole goal of this episode, is really establishing those financial habits early as possible. I think, the graduate might not appreciate it as much right away, but I think over time, 10, 20 years from now, they'll really appreciate some of those lessons that you learned. Before we get out of here, I talked about gifts. So anybody that's looking to find a gift, maybe a unique gift idea or something financially related for the new graduate, what ideas do you have, or what have you seen clients do in terms of providing gifts here?
Yeah, so because of what we do, always encouraging the Roth IRA, getting them started. If they got their first job, make sure they get into the 401k, because they can take advantage of the match. Show them that where they're getting additional money just for saving for themselves. So putting money into a Roth IRA to help younger people get started is a great way to start. The one that I like the best is a gift of a financial planner session. So if somebody wanted to give their graduate an hour time with our firm, they could call and do that. They could purchase that ahead of time and give it as a graduation gift. And I think that would be huge to help them. Other gifts ideas are certainly pay the first month's rent, help them with down payment, and really get them some financial literacy. Subscription to a magazine, podcast that teaches them a little bit about money, something like that, is all good, because none of us are too young to learn either way. And getting those tips in place early is something parents and grandparents could do for grads, as opposed to just getting them fun stuff.
Yeah, those are all great ideas for sure. And look, if you have a graduate or you have someone in their family that or friends are getting graduating right now, make sure you send them this podcast, share it with them. Hopefully this has been some guidance that will help them out. And I think anybody's looking for ideas and ways to improve their children or their grandchildren as they head off into the real world and have to start taking care of themselves, learning these things early on, will be very beneficial. If you do want to get in touch with Dennis, you can always do so at 401k.com. Faith. Dennis, thanks for the time. As always, look forward to catching up soon.
Thank you, Ben. Have a great day.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.